Hi guys, it's Ron, singer from Montreal. I'm not going to be singing today. I wanted to do a blog about the effect it's had that the Habs didn't make the playoffs, well, the Montreal Canadiens, and how I became a Bruins fan in the first place. So we're going to start with how I became a Bruins fan in the first place. I was a little kid. I was like 6 or 7, and I observed hockey, but my attention span wasn't, strong enough for that yet. But I observed, and I said to my dad I wanted to be a goalie, and I think his reaction was probably, oh boy, So, the next year came, and he told me he wanted me to watch now. Like, he plopped me in front of the TV saying, I want you to watch. So I watched, and I didn't not have team, So, obviously they showed a lot of Habs games. So the first night, it's the Habs, and they win 7-0. So as a little boy, I was like, boring, And then the next night, 5-1, boring again. And then they played again, and it was like 7-1, and I was like, boring again. And then one night, this team with black shirts and a B came on the ice. I thought they looked really cool, but I figured they're going to get whooped, So the game starts, and the Bruins score, and I'm like, okay, And of course, the Habs reply right away, so I'm like, here we go, So then the Habs go up 2-1, and I'm like, oh, here we go for sure. And then the Bruins reply, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, And it's 2-2, and it goes into the third period, and late in the third period, the Bruins score with 2 minutes, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive, But I was like, can they hang on, So with Jerry Cheevers, with that mask with the stitches, and he was such athletic, no offense to Dryden was wicked, but that he had more of a stand-up style though. But Cheevers was athletic and splits and everything all over the place. So basically he held them in. So when they won, I remember this very vividly. I jumped off the floor in excitement, and I said, somebody beat Montreal, somebody beat Montreal, somebody beat Montreal. I asked my dad, who is that? And he said, the Boston Bruins. And all I remember thinking was, wow, okay, they're my team now, So, I don't know, within a week I wanted a shirt for sure, And so that's really one of the reasons I really wanted to play goalie and stuck with goalie. And it further changed down the year. I ended up a winger later on, and the coach saw something different, so he put me winger. And so technically, the reason how I became a Bruins fan was because Montreal was just so very good and dominant, okay, for any little kid that wants exciting games, So, look, as a Bruins fan, okay, I've never hated the Habs, okay. It's just when they lose, it just helps us in the standings. That's really it, And, see, the sad thing for me is that the fact that they're out, okay, it's just going to change everything this year. Because when they're in, okay, Montreal is alive, okay? It says it on the buses, Go Habs Go. All the businesses and restaurants has Go Habs Go. And boy, the women really get into it, especially them, eh? They don't buy the $50 replica jerseys, I'm telling you, huh? They buy the $150 authentic jerseys. And the other thing that I think is so wonderful is you see all the multiculturalisms with the hats and the shirts, and it's just, the city is so alive when they're in, and even as a Bruins fan, okay, I'm going to miss that a lot, okay? It's not going to be the same this spring and summer, So that's really my point at the beginning was, the effect it's going to have on the city. Plus, it generates so much revenue to, the team itself. But the city and people would have come from other places because the Habs are you have to respect them, okay? 24 Stanley Cups. How could you not respect that team? Like, they're like the benchmark. Like, if people want to know, what makes hockey great, well, how could you say that, even as a Bruins fan, So, but one thing I was thinking about was, someone asked me, do you ever have any altercations or problems with this? And I said, well, honestly, a couple, okay? The first one was some guy had called me a traitor. So I responded very quickly. I said, you listen to me, my friend. I'm a very, very, very proud Canadian, and watch your mouth, So it was really funny. I had just gotten this really nice windbreaker, which I have here, from my Uncle Luke. Well, I noticed that a cereal company was offering a Team Canada patch. So I thought if I sewed it on my Bruins coat, it would really help this situation, with this traitor thing, because it shows I'm a Canadian Bruins fan, and that's really it. Like, a very proud Canadian guy. It's just that's my team in hockey, So there was one that was, a little rougher situation. So I was with my best friend, Michael Burns Rappaport, okay? And we had just gone to an exhibition game between, the Bruins and Habs. And I'm coming down the stairs, and the guy directly behind me says to me, go back to Boston. Well, me with my loud, aggressive temper, I turned around right in his face, and I said, watch your mouth, man. And I pointed at this patch on my coat, and I said to the guy, what does this say? Huh? And the guy just went quiet a little bit, and then I just said, watch your mouth, And that was really it. But other than that, I've never, ever had, any problems. Like, a few parents would say, as jokes, well, don't be like, don't be like him, don't like that team ever, whatever, But that's really it. I'm a very proud Canadian guy. It's just a hockey team in the National Hockey League, And there's a thing a lot of people don't know, is that half the team are Canadian-born guys anyway, So, really to finish, I just wanted to say, like I said earlier, the city's not going to be the same. And I feel for you, Habs as a team. I feel for you, Habs fans. I really do, And a much tribute to you guys, you've been a nail in our side for years, and we respect you, So, really, that's it, and much love to Facebook and YouTube, tough, I'm working on you still. So, Ron the Singer, a little bit behind the guy more about how I became a Bruins fan, I figure I haven't made a lot of friends, from this, but I'll tell you one thing you guys can't take away from me. I'm honest, So that's really it too, Like, I don't like team jumpers. Like, if you pick a team, you got to stick with that team, I've had a few friends where, say, I don't know, the Rangers were doing well for a few years, well, he'd be a Ranger fan and get the jersey, and then, he had a Pittsburgh phase and a Philly phase. It's okay, that's your own thing, but, to me, when you have a team, you stay with that team through thick and thin, whether they're, the worst team, you have to stick, So, another side of me, and I'm out. Ron from Montreal. Much love to all. Bye.